Neediness destroys attraction faster than almost anything else. The moment you start trying too hard, doing more, saying more, proving more, you stop feeling powerful and start feeling available. And that changes how people see you. Because the truth is simple. The moment you need attention, you lose the presence that creates it. Quiet confidence pulls people in. Chasing pushes them away. Most people never realize they are repelling others by trying too hard to be liked. They think effort makes them magnetic, when in reality it often makes them easier to ignore. Stoic. Wisdom teaches a different path. Carry yourself with calm, speak with intention, and let your presence do what desperation never can. And that begins with understanding what real attraction actually comes from. Natural attraction begins with self-command, not performance. A person who can govern his own emotions does not need to beg the world for attention. He is already centered. That is why reaction loses power, while control creates presence. Noise makes you look desperate. Silence makes you look grounded. Approval makes you flexible. Self-respect makes you stable. Marcus Aurelius understood this well. When your inner world is ordered, your outer world changes with it. People are drawn to those who do not need to be validated because they feel harder to manipulate and easier to trust. That is the Stoic rule most people miss. Attraction is not a trick. It is a reflection of stability. And once that is clear, the real question becomes, what energy are you actually giving off? Because people do not just hear your words, they feel your state. What makes people lean in is not pressure. It is calm confidence, emotional restraint, emotional independence. People are naturally fascinated by those who do not over-explain, overreact, or overperform. There is something powerful about a person who does not need to fill every silence or prove every point. That is the difference between performance and authenticity, chaos and peace. Performance tries to force attention. Authenticity creates it. Psychologically, people are drawn to what feels safe, grounded, and difficult to shake. They may not always be able to explain why, but they feel it. Most people never realize that the less they try to impress, the more memorable they become. Because attraction is often not created by effort, it is created by energy, and that energy becomes even stronger when it is expressed in one calm sentence. And that sentence is simple enough to change the entire tone of how people respond to you. The 6 words are simple. I choose peace over proving myself. And that sentence changes everything because it says more than a long explanation ever could. It communicates detachment, self-respect, and emotional maturity in one calm line. Approval says, please understand me. Self-respect says, I do not need to chase your approval. Weakness reacts to every challenge. Inner command chooses the higher ground. Reaction wants to win the moment. Wisdom chooses peace. That is why this phrase works. It is not magic. It is a declaration of identity. It tells the world you are no longer available for emotional warfare, desperation, or performance. Most people never realize that one calm sentence can say more than a desperate conversation ever could. It creates presence without force, and that is where real attraction begins to deepen. Because when a person no longer needs to prove themselves, their energy starts speaking for them. This phrase makes you more compelling because it reveals something rare. You are not emotionally greedy. You are not begging for approval. You are not easily thrown off balance. And people feel that. They feel the difference between noise and silence, performance and authenticity, pressure and inner freedom. When you say, I choose peace over proving myself, you are not just speaking words, you are signaling boundaries, selectiveness, and self-command. That creates respect. That creates curiosity. That creates space. Attraction grows when pressure disappears because people are drawn to those who do not cling, chase, or collapse under tension. If you keep trying to control how others see you, you stay stuck in a weaker version of yourself. The hidden cost of ignoring this is a life where you are always reaching and never fully received. But when the energy changes, the words land differently. Because a sentence only has power when it is spoken from the right identity. The sentence only works when the delivery matches the identity behind it. Say it with a calm tone, slow pace, steady eye contact. No over-explaining, no emotional rush. Because the words themselves are not the power. The power is in the state you bring to them. Impulse wants to force the effect. Discipline lets the effect happen naturally. Performance tries to sound impressive. Authenticity simply is what it says. If you speak this line while still needing approval, it loses its force. But if you speak it from inner control, it lands differently. It feels grounded, clear, unshaken. That is what makes the phrase persuasive. Not pressure, but presence. And once people feel that shift, they start responding to you differently. Because when your words and identity finally match, attraction stops being something you chase. This is what changes when Stoic wisdom becomes your identity. You stop trying to be chosen and start becoming the kind of person others naturally notice. Weak people chase attention. Strong people create it through calm self-respect. And that changes the way you move through the world. You become less needy, more grounded, more self-possessed, and quietly more attractive. Not because you force it, because you no longer need to. That is the real power of Stoic attraction. It is not a trick. It is the consequence of inner peace. If this spoke to you, reflect on whether you need more confidence, stronger boundaries, or more self-respect. Comment what hit hardest and continue into another Stoic lesson on discipline, presence, or emotional mastery.